Hey guys, Kate here of Burn One. I'm joined with Nico.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Um, we're recording something a little bit different. We're gonna actually talk about something that comes up in Weiss, but I think a lot of players forget it's even an option because you almost never do it, or it's never the right play, like a lot of the times. But that's like passing turn to like gain tempo against your opponent or prevent them from being able to do like a very powerful follow up turn. So we have this match video from BCF 2019. It's a Neo Standard singles in Japan, and I guess we'll just go into it and start talking about it. All right, here we go.
Just want to give a shout out to my boy on the right, Max Rarity Milky Holmes. Gotta respect that.
Yeah, I think he has sign cards too from like the actual VAs, which is cool.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
Yeah. But yeah, just I mean, talking about like passing plays in general. Do you want to like elaborate any on that, Nico?
So it's a good option to remember, but kind of the way I would personally like to look at it, it's as you said, it's usually not the right play, but in a lot of cases, it can just win you the game. And if not win you the game, put you in such a commanding lead that, like,
You should
unless you
win.
get
Yeah.
really unlucky, you should be winning the game. A
Yeah.
lot of the times people will, some people will know kind of like to like level lock somebody at like level 0, but in certain other matchups, for example, in English, in the Love Live Sunshine matchup, if you can lock somebody at 1-6, or if you can lock the Sunshine player at 1-6, it's also really, really strong.
Yeah, like that kind of tempo plays to prevent them from being able to do their double early play shenanigans and stuff like that. And that's kind of what we're going to see here as well. For English players, the guy on the left is playing Luck and Logic,
This is
and
the old school
yeah,
boogeyman in
this
the
was
Japanese meta.
yep, this was before the ban list existed for it. And at level 2, they have this powerful merge ability with an alarm card comboed with it to let them constantly search their deck every time they merge, so they never lose hand when they basically merge two cards to play an early play level 3. And then the early play level 3 itself is very strong. So what we're gonna see here is the Milky Homes player is gonna end up passing turn. I think it's just gonna happen right here, pretty much. He's gonna
Yeah, he's gonna try to kill the character in front.
It kills a character. Guy cancels on first thing, and then is going to take the refresh damage here. So the thought process behind this is that if he pushes for more damage in these next two swings and gets into level 2, it's going to let him clock the alarm card in his hand and set up like triple merge, like 2 to 3 merges. So it makes the field like almost unbeatable for Milky Homes. On top of, I believe the version they're playing in this was like between ban lists, I think. So they have the Nexel wall on this one, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough for Milky Homes because Milky Homes doesn't have a like very strong like 2 lineup. You don't
Yeah.
have a lot of like 2 soul beaters or anything like that. So dealing with the Neg Soul as the Milky Homes player is really really tough. So he got lucky here and sniped a climax off the refresh. So yeah, he's gonna end up passing turn here to strand his opponent at like 1-5, 1-6. This is like the type of play you also have to keep in mind where you get it's a stronger and stronger play if you know your opponent has no playables to follow up because then they lose out on attacks on top of that. But in this
Yeah.
case, he's most likely not going to be in that type of situation. But
So I don't recall this match specifically, but I think the Henology does still get like 3 attacks this turn.
yeah, it should be pretty easy. I mean, worst case scenario is like able to move up the back row. I forget it. I think the back row is part of the merge. I'm not sure if you know off the top of your
I
head.
don't recall. I have never
Yeah,
played Henology. And I've only played against Dean's Henology maybe once or twice, so yeah, I don't
yeah,
really recall.
yeah. I forget which are the exact merge pieces here. I'm pretty sure those back rows are part of the merge. So it puts them in kind of like a tough position here. Oh, there's a clock swap thing here. So yeah, so he's just gonna get playables here and crash this turn, and still like hold on to. I guess I should be one of the merge pieces. I wish I knew this off the top of my head. which is like kind of unfortunate for the Milky player. But at the same time, you build this like tempo lead right here because the level 3 that comes out climax combos with gate. So if he's holding a gate, holding onto a gate right now too, he can't play it this turn really if he's planning to merge in the following turn. So it
Well,
gives
not
you,
only that, so right now, if he's going to be crashing board this turn, he's already out 3 climaxes. Make that 4, actually.
yeah,
And then if he's also holding gate, that's 5. So his deck is going to be in a really unfortunate position to eat a lot of damage.
yeah.
Looks like Milky counters here, does the standard stuff.
So yeah, like building up off of this here is really powerful because now he leaves his opponent with an empty board, and he's going, and his opponent's already out a lot here. So like as the Milky player, you're able to like maybe even slam a climax and push for like a lot of damage and possibly push them to high level 2s, maybe even 3s. And if you get them to that point, that gives you enough time to work your way back into the game, even if they do get like triple level 3 off with combo.
Ooh, that was a really spooky play.
Oh yeah,
Holy moly.
top check, add the hand, and then immediately cancel the second one.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I understand why he did it, because he didn't soul trigger there, I think, right? So because he didn't soul trigger, he didn't want his clock going into his refresh. So worst case scenario, he was going to just mill it down. And
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
all right, so now Milky player has a really decent refresh. I think he's refreshing with 7 because he has 1 in, what do you call it, in level zone at the moment because he used the counter. Henology player, unfortunately, is in a really rough situation because I think, as we said, he's out 5. So if Milky player can find a climax here, he gets to push a lot of damage. But spoiler alert, I don't think that's what happens.
Unfortunately. So the play that ends up happening here for the Milky player, which is kind of weird. It's like the reason we're like even bringing this up is because
Yeah.
like we said, a lot of people don't realize sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but passing turn is the play in some cases, and then in other times this showcases exactly why you should really think about, is passing turn going to give you a really really big advantage here. So on this turn here, I believe after the player goes through all his stuff, he's going to end up attacking the one character, Logic character there, and it's going to end up canceling, and he's going to end up, he's going to end up passing turn here. So this is like a really weird play. I kind of understand where like he's at because he just forced him to move up his back row, cleared his board again, and is going to lock him out of being able to play the alarm card, which is like the one of the most powerful pieces to doing the triple merge. But at the same time, like
You still have to push damage to win the game. So I think if I can, like, I guess elaborate here a bit more on it. The first time he passed turn makes a lot of sense because just he can put Lock and Logic in this like really unfortunate position. But this time around, I don't think it's correct. Mainly because the Lock and Logic player's deck is, as we saw, is not in a very good state. If he just decided to push damage here, he probably gets his opponent to like 2-4, 2-5. And on top of that, if you guys can spot the cards in the Milky Holmes player's hand, he has 2 of the 2-1 early play killers in hand. So even if Lock and Logic does decide to invest stock and just to plop down the level 3s, he can just answer them just by sending them to clock, and that'll guarantee that unless the Henology player draws another Merlin, he can't, Merlin him again.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like one of those things where I think he thought he was going to build up even more tempo off of this, but he's still able to like respond to it with 3 attackers, which is generally like when you make these type of plays, you're like hoping that they won't be able to have a very strong field to answer. I guess like he got some value out of this because he three costed the level 0, right? Because that is the merge piece. I looked it up.
Yeah, I think he three costed it, but I think he mainly three costed it because he like double triggered the previous turn,
Yeah, that's true as well.
and he had no real other ways to pay it out.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, then now because we didn't push damage here, is
the
giving
Lucky
him
Logic, yeah, he's correcting his deck more or less.
yeah at this point, which is like really really good for him. So it basically instead of that any of the tempo we got off of the initial pass was given up on the second pass in a row. Like I'm not sure in what scenarios like would double pass even be the play, but in this case, like Nico elaborated, it definitely wasn't. But yeah, like we said though, passing turn is like a legitimate move and strategy that I think people should look out more often to do. Usually, this type of strategy happens mostly at 0, right?
It's usually at 0, but in a lot of well, I shouldn't say a lot. In certain specific matchups, doing it at level 1 to lock somebody out of it at level 2 is also really really strong.
Yeah.
And on occasion, locking somebody to 3 can also be pretty legitimate.
Oh, you mean locking them before getting to level 3? So like leaving them
Yeah,
at
so
2-5?
like if you want to leave like say I don't want to even use Konosuba as an example because they have a Ricky to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
But like let's say for whatever reason you can't clear your own board against a Bang Dream player who runs Yukina or something. And like if the dude plops down double Yukina, you're gonna lose. You can just kind of pass turn there.
Yeah, stranding them a little bit at like 2-5, so most they can go to 2-6. Like supposedly supposed to buy you one extra turn of the game. Like it feels really bad to pass. Like I totally understand that. But yeah, at times you should consider it as a play option at any time because sometimes that's what it takes to win the game, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I think with that, guys, though, we'll let you go. Hopefully, you learned a little something new here because I don't see many players take advantage of passing turn. Even though, yeah, it doesn't come up very often. But I'll see players be in a position where if they pass the turn, they like almost win the game immediately, and they don't pass turn because they have one extra attack at the end. But yeah, so yeah, just keep think about it a little bit more and see if you're ever in a situation where that comes up. Other than that, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content as it does help us grow, and check out some of these social media links below.